I've been traveling around Belgium by train, and some of these train stations here, they're just beautiful. This is Ghent St. Peter station. It's about 30 minutes away from Brussels Midi station. You actually go through this station as well when you're going to Bruges from Brussels. It's literally the same train. It just stops in Ghent as well. One thing that blew my mind in Ghent are these huge bike parking areas. They remind me a lot of the Netherlands. Well, Ghent is in Flanders, which is the northern region of Belgium. It has a similar culture to the Netherlands, so I suppose some things would be similar as well. Another thing is that Ghent has actually introduced a lot of policies that aim to reduce car traffic in the city centre. So cycling has become one of the easiest and most popular ways to get around the city. To get to the Old Town city centre, I had to get tram from Ghent St. Peter's. It was the easiest option for me. But there's also buses available, so you could either get a tram or a bus. I got to the Old Town, and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. My first impression was that the church density here is remarkable. I don't think I've ever seen so many churches in one area, ever. Not in any of my travels. This area is called the Grass Key and the Grain Key. I will leave the Belgian names in the subtitles. The river is called the Leia River and the bridge is called the St. Michael's Bridge. The church in the back is the St. Michael's Church. I'll talk about the church later on in the video. I cannot believe I didn't know this city existed until like a few months ago. So one of my Belgian colleagues said that this is the best city in Belgium and it's also the most beautiful. So I just had to see it to believe it. It's definitely one of the most beautiful cities I've been to in Belgium, but I'm still traveling around Belgium. So once I'm done with the big cities, then maybe I would come to that conclusion. But so far, it's very beautiful. Some parts of Ghent almost feels like Bruges, especially these areas with red brick and canals. The color of the water makes me wonder what's going on in there though. And just an observation between Bruges and Ghent. Bruges is beautiful, but it feels curated for tourists. Like, you could tell the majority of the people out were tourists. Ghent feels more like a functioning city, like a city which people actually live in, not just a city where you'd go and visit. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of tourists as well in Ghent, but it seems though that most restaurants, cafes, markets and more are things where the locals actually go to, and they were catering to both tourists and locals. This is the Van Eyck Monument. It honors Huber and Jan van Eyck. The two brothers created the Ghent altarpiece. The Ghent altarpiece is one of the most important artworks in Western art history. The art piece is actually in the cathedral behind it. And the cathedral behind it is the Cathedral of St. Bavo. So the Cathedral of St. Bavo has been built and expanded over a long period of time, roughly about 600 years. Its construction started in the 1300s. You know, with these big, beautiful churches, they always took hundreds of years to construct. Another example is the one in Cologne, Germany. It took 600 years to build. Remember when I said it's home to the Ghent altarpiece? This altarpiece is the most stolen artwork in the world. It's been stolen, hidden, damaged, smuggled, and even nearly blown off by the Nazis. It's also been targeted by Napoleon's troops. There was a really long queue to see the altarpiece, so if you do plan to visit, make sure you do have a lot of time. Unfortunately, I didn't, so I didn't get a chance to see it. This is still an active church, so you can actually attend Mass on Sundays at 11 a.m. And can you imagine actually having your wedding here? But not anybody can just have a wedding here though. I think you'd have to be a member or something. This is one of the views of the St. Bavo Cathedral. In my Bruges video, I did explain how churches reflected the economic status of a city. This cathedral was built in Ghent's Golden Age, the Middle Ages. So yeah, it had to be big and impressive. The tower just opposite the church is the Ghent Belfry. The Belfry was the official tower of the city, not the church. It represented Ghent's rights to self-govern, protect itself, and run its own economy. And this square here is called the St. Plain. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. This was inside the belfry. Unfortunately, it was closed by the time I got there, so this is what I got to see.
Thank you.
This church is the St. Nicholas Church. It's just a few minutes walk from the St. Bavo Cathedral. As I said, the church density in this city is remarkable, so you will get to see a lot of churches as you walk around the city centre. This church was actually deeply tied to the city's trading elite. It's located next to the current market. It served as a spiritual home for merchants and artisans. Medieval guilds also built their own chapels on the church sites during the 14th and 15th centuries. This is the current market. It just means wheat market.
Where you been all day? Do a Metallica song. I take a complete right turn here and do a Metallica song. It's the only song you can do with a beard.
I've already introduced this church earlier on in the video. This is the St. Michael's Church, the one next to the St. Michael's Bridge. Its construction started in 1440. And this church was associated with wealthy guilds, you know, the successful people. The churches I've shown in this video are very close to each other, and they're all within like a few minutes walk away from each other. And I was thinking, why do they need so many churches? So apparently there's a lot of reasons for this, and one of the reasons is that Ghent was like a medieval megacity. It was densely populated. People traveled on foot, and the churches needed to be within like a walking distance. Another reason is that each church served a different community. St. Bavo Cathedral, this is the bishop's seat. So this is like the headquarters. This is where important ceremonies took place. St. Nicholas Church, this is the church of the merchants and the guilds. And St. Michael's Church, this was for the successful people. So the rich and wealthy, the most influential people. Another reason was that Ghent was a very wealthy city in the medieval ages, and the way people flexed their wealth back then was by building big, impressive churches. So yeah, churches were symbols of power. Having several big, impressive churches near each other signaled Ghent's importance. This is the Friday market. It's one of the oldest and most important squares in Ghent. Here, you can find cafes, bars, restaurants, and more. It's still an active market, so every Friday you will find a market here. It's been this way for over 800 years. There are other events as well, like seasonal markets, food festivals, and more, so it's not just the Friday market that happens here. This square isn't just for commerce though. It's been a stage for public meetings, royal receptions, and even executions throughout the centuries. A lot of major historical events have happened here. King Edward III of England, he was proclaimed King of France on this square in 1340. Apparently, the square also has underground parking with capacity for hundreds of cars. I wonder how they managed to do that though. This is Graffiti Street. It's not very far from the Friday market. It's just a few minute walk. I think this is such a brilliant idea to let artists create art. I feel like when artists are too restricted, they just end up vandalizing some buildings. But if given the space to express themselves, you get something really cool like this. I think this street also captures the vibe of the city. It has a lot of young people. I think it's like a university city because I did see quite a lot of young people that appear to be of uni age. So yeah, Ghent is vibrant, expressive, and full of life, just like this street. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.
Enjoy your